To know your own worth. Folks, you got to stop allowing people to buy you for the down low. You got to stop acting as if you're a person that they can buy one and get one free. You got to stop being one of the daily specials or some as if someone has a coupon for you. You got to know your own worth. You got to know that you're fearfully and wondrously made, that although all of your experiences haven't been perfect, but God has taught you, brought you through the school of hard knocks. You got to know that somebody of a lesser nettle would have given up a long time ago if they had gone through half of what you've gone through. You got to know your own worth. If you don't know your own worth, everybody will pull every type of trick and con and scheme and try to have you fall for it. But folks, you're not innocent. You've had your whole life full of experiences. You know game, as they say on the street, game recognize game. You know game a mile off. You just gotta know your own worth. You gotta put your foot down and stay solid and be sober and vigilant. Always be on the lookout for folks trying to pull a con. And folks, you gotta know your own worth. You are fearfully and wondrously made. You are created in the image and after the likeness of God. Folks, you got to keep your head high enough. And I'm not talking about you being some egotistical maniac, but I don't want you going around looking down for pennies every day with your head sunken. God is the lifter of your head. You got to know your own worth. You got to know that if you were a quitter, you should have given up a long time ago. That if you were a person of lesser fiber, that you would have already called it quits. The enemy has hit you with everything but the kitchen sink, and yet you're still here. If nothing else, the enemy has to say that that's a survivor. Folks, look, all of us get knocked down, but if you get up, you're knocked down 7 times, and you get up 8, you're back on your feet. And I'm telling you, you got to wear the enemy out knocking you down. If you keep getting back up, sooner or later, the enemy will move on in your life. You got to know your own worth. Yes, you've spent the time. You burned the midnight oil. You studied your craft. You worked in your field for decades, and you got to know your own worth. If someone's willing to pay you any type of wage, that's because that someone knows that your value far exceeds the wages that he or she is, or the corporation is determined to pay you. Folks, the only one that's not all in what you're worth is the person that you see in the mirror on a daily basis. You're using the hindrances from your past, the setbacks, the upheavals that have happened in your life, and that is diminishing what you feel like should be a proper self-worth, and you don't know your own worth. It's because you've been to hell and back that you should charge more. It's because things have blown up in your face. But those things were not just things to take you under, but God can use the very thing that takes 90% of the populace under, and he can use those very things to take you over. I was listening I read a couple years ago about the motivational market, how they had so many. They used to call the guy that sold millions and millions of dollars of product, the guy that ran barely over the 3-minute mile. These people who did Herculean tasks. But now the trend in the marketplace of people that have gone through the dumps, that where upheavals have left them for dead, and then they recovered and showed life once again. And the marketplace is going crazy over. Most of us can't identify with selling millions of dollars worth of product. Most of us can't identify with running the mile in 3 minutes and 30 or 40 seconds. But we can identify with falling down. There is life after falling down. You don't have to lose your self-worth. You don't have to negate who God has called you to be. Yeah, you got some bumps and bruises, but there are bumps and bruises in the executive suite. There are bumps and bruises in the halls of Congress. There are bumps and bruises in any hall of fame that you've ever been. If you go through the hall of faith in Hebrews 11, 11, they were people that had bumps and bruises and went through horrible trials and harsh taskmasters. And God, they still saw vision and kept moving. They knew their worth. Folks, if nothing else, if God is for you, the scriptures declare that he's more than a world against you. God has invested in you. He believes in you. He sees that. So if you serve a God that believes so much in you, and if you really believe in him, you'll start knowing your own worth. Without faith, Hebrews 11:6 says, it is impossible to please God, for he that cometh to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of those that diligently seek him. We serve a rewarder. We serve a God who's a supplier and not a liar. You gotta know your own worth. Stop allowing folks to get you for the down low, for the hookup, for the cheap. Stop being the buy one get one free woman or the buy one get one free man. You gotta know your own worth. Be blessed.